Whereas if you can't scam them off that several hundred million bucks, then you blowing them up would cost you several hundred million because you have to lose the ship that you ganked them in. And so then it becomes unprofitable for you to harm other people in high security space. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone who doesn't play EVE, to be honest. It's a very specific thing in EVE that you have to pay a price for murdering other people. But the game doesn't ever stop you from murdering other people, it just makes you pay a price after you murder them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kevin says, well, I gotta go, it's 5:30 AM if you're ill. Alright, see you later, Kevin. Take care. EVE Online is basically a libertarian paradise. Wesley says I would get so frustrated playing EVE. Well, probably. I mean, you just have to... You just need the right mindset, Wesley. You just need to remember that there's a lot of people out there with a lot more money than you who would love to screw you over. And if you keep that in mind, then maybe you'll be a little bit off. Well, I mean, in real life, it's worse than real life, Wesley. I mean, real life people don't screw you over as hard. The thing is, real life, I mean, about the suicide gankers, for example, yeah, in the game, it cost them several hundred million ISK to suicide gank you. Like, in real life, if somebody murders you, they go to prison for the rest of their life. So EVE allows the gankers and the scammers to go back into the game and continue doing bad things to other people for a very low price comparatively, right? In real life, you scam someone, you get caught, and you're in prison for a few years. In EVE, you scam someone, you get caught, you can go right back into it and do it again. Right? There's no prison. So it's more severe in EVE because of the lack of long-term consequences. The only consequence for murder is you lose your ship. And if you can afford to replace your ship, then there's basically no consequence. So yeah, in a sense it's like real life, but in a sense there's a high concentration of people trying to screw you over. Because nothing removes them from the society, right? If you can call it that. If you can call EVE a society, there's nothing removing bad people from the society. I mean, I think it's a very interesting social experiment, but you know, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. And I agree with you, Wesley. I think you would find it utterly disastrous. I mean, I find it disastrous too, but I can deal with it, right? I don't know if I said it here. I don't think I have, but the worst part of it is that many of the people there, or maybe many of the people who play Eve, have internalized the I guess the assholery. I mean, like the common advice they give to people who start playing Eve is like, first of all, assume everyone's trying to screw you over, right? Nowhere is safe. Anyone could be trying to screw you over. But one part that I disagree with is that they say if you get blown up, it's your fault. Which is, I think, a little bit of a... It's like it's overcompensating or over-adapting. The truth is, if you get blown up, no one's gonna help you. Like that's the truth of it. If you get blown up, no one is gonna help you except yourself. And if you have friends, then I guess your friends might help you. But generally, if you get blown up, no one's gonna help you but yourself. That's what they mean. But what they eventually like evolve into is, if you get blown up, it's your fault. But I mean, you can see the difference, right, Wesley? Like the difference between it's your fault and you're the only one who can do something about it, right? I mean, they're slightly different things. But the Eve player base have gotten to the point where they've internalized the notion that if you get blown up, it's your fault, and not just, you know, no one's gonna help you except you. Like that's one thing, but the fact that it's actually your fault. Your fault for not being careful, your fault for being scammed, your fault for, you know, flying a ship you can't afford to lose, things like that. So yeah, it's like, I feel like it just crosses the line to being something unhealthy. Like it's gone from intense, like intensely competitive, to just wrong, a little bit wrong, in my opinion. Like the EVE Online community and the EVE Online mindset is just a little bit too far, and it's a little bit messed up. It's super messed up, actually. It's not just a little bit messed up, it's quite messed up. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is double of 7. I think that's correct. Let's see, and then across the bridge. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I kinda wanna get this finished today so that we can have the loop functionally complete and I can release a save file. But if I do that, it seems like I'm gonna have to go over time, because we have half an hour left. Let me think about it. Whether we try to finish it today or not, or whether I try to finish it today. No, I'm pretty sure we can. Well, I mean, we'd be halfway through the wiring, and then that had to be testing. I mean, I'm just thinking like games like Dark Souls, or like, you know, games that are deliberately designed to be brutal. Not brutal in the sense of like a lot of blood and gore, but brutal in the sense that they're hard and unforgiving of mistakes, or even unforgiving of inexperience. Like, I guess Dark Souls, would you, like, if you play Dark Souls and you die, would you say like it's your own fault? It's kind of strange because Dark Souls, if you die, it means you don't know the boss, or maybe you like press the wrong button at the wrong time accidentally. I guess you wouldn't assign fault if you die in Dark Souls. I mean, the attitude that people have about games like Dark Souls is that, you know, if you can't beat a boss, or like it's up to you to beat the boss. Q says maybe it comes down to whether something is fair or justifiable. Wesley says it's blame it on lag. That's what I do. Is it fair or justifiable? I guess so, Q, but then there's also expectations, right? Because you play Dark Souls, I mean, now that everybody knows what Dark Souls is, you kind of have an expectation that every single boss fight is gonna be a real grind. Unfair AI isn't fun, justifiable within a game like EVE Online. If people know it's brutal, it's okay. Yeah. Well, here, okay, so Dark Souls, the boss fights are tough, but if you know their patterns and if you know which buttons to press at what time, you can beat them, right? Every boss is beatable, even if it's tough. So I guess, I mean, that's kind of what you mean, right, Q? Like, it's justifiable because it's not impossible. It's just that you have to learn it and practice at it until you're good at it. But the thing about Dark Souls is that it's you versus a scripted boss fight, whereas EVE Online is you versus other human beings, and there's no script. Like, everybody's just making it up as they go along. I mean, fair in a single player game is not the same as fair in a social game, right? And the thing about the EVE sandbox is that a lot of things are possible. I guess the other thing that I can think of is in fighting games like Street Fighter. In Street Fighter, like, sometimes you lose or you just get hit by someone's moves, and it's like, people say, well, it's your fault you got hit. But the thing about Street Fighter is that it's a lot more constrained. Like, it's only two people with two characters with very limited mechanics. Like, there's two guys on the screen moving back and forth and punching each other. It's much more controlled, right, than EVE Online, where there's like literally tens of thousands of people flying around, and any one of them can do, like, their ships can be fitted in all sorts of different ways. And like, a fighting game is very constrained compared to massively multiplayer sandbox RPG. Although I haven't actually played that many sandbox RPGs, or like that many multiplayer ones, that is. What's that game called? Dust? Is that what it's called? Rust? What's Rust? Oh, Rust. Yeah, no, Rust. Yeah, you're right. That Rust. I don't know anything about Rust, so I'm not gonna pretend to talk about it. Have any of you guys played Rust? I guess like Minecraft, PvP servers in Minecraft are kind of similar. Like, you have a sandbox, and there's a lot of things that can happen. I mean, imagine a Minecraft server with rampant griefing. Like, rampant, unconstrained griefing. And everybody tries to murder you everywhere. Some servers are like that, right? I haven't played enough multiplayer Minecraft, to be honest. Like, which kinds of servers are the most popular? It would be an interesting social experiment to have like different servers with different rules and like minigame servers. See, that's the thing, Wesley. Like, minigames, they are kind of competitive, but they are very constrained. Like, the competition is very constrained, right? The minigames have specific rules,